Welcome children. Today we will be doing theme 6 worksheet 3 from workbook. So this worksheet deals with active and passive voice and how active voice can be changed into passive voice. So in a sentence, when the subject is the doer of the action, the sentence is said to be in the active voice. That means the active voice describes a sentence where the subject performs the action stated by the verb. It follows a clear subject plus verb plus object. You can see here the example. In the example, Ram eats an apple. So Ram is the subject here, eats is the verb and apple is the object. On the other hand, when the subject is the receiver of the action, the sentence is said to be in the passive voice. So passive voice is used when the action rather than the doer is to be emphasized. If the subject receives the action, the verb is in the passive voice. So an apple is eaten by Ram. So when you will change it into passive voice, the active voice, Ram eats an apple and apple is eaten by Ram. So here the apple is the subject, right? But the apple cannot perform the act of eating since it is an inanimate object. It is actually the receiver of the action eat. Therefore, it is in the passive subject of the sentence. The doer of the action of the sentence is Ram, whereas Ram eats an apple. The sentence is in active voice because the action is directly done by the active subject, that is Ram. Okay, so active voice can be changed into passive voice following certain points. I would like to mention some of the points that have to be kept in mind while we'll change the active voice into passive. Passive voice is used when the action rather than the doer is to be emphasized. A sentence changes from active to passive voice when the subject and object interchange their respective positions. Usually, the preposition by is added before the doer of an action in a passive construction. The form of the be verb used to form the passive construction must agree with the passive subject of the sentence. So let's see the exercise here. He writes a poem. A poem is written by him. So he writes a poem. A poem is the passive subject. Okay, since it is in singular form, so the be verb will be is. Right? If it would have been poems, then the be verb would have been are. I am reading a book. A book, again it is in singular form. So the verb will be is. She has completed her work. So has is the present perfect. So her work has been completed by her. I fed a cow. Fed is in past form. A cow was fed by me. A cow, again it is in singular form. So the be verb will be was. He was driving a car. This sentence is in the past continuous tense. A car was being driven by him. They had completed the assignment. It is in past perfect tense. Had is the past perfect and has is the present perfect. The assignment had been completed by them. She will buy a car. It is in future tense. A car will be bought by her. You will have started the job. This sentence is in the future perfect tense. The job will have been started by you. Now come to the next exercise. Change the sentences from active to passive. Mohan sells fresh vegetables in the morning. Fresh vegetables are sold by Mohan in the morning. So vegetables is in plural form. So the be form of a verb will be are. Jaya taught me how to cook food. I was taught by Jaya how to cook food. Here I is the first person singular. The musician played the guitar during the function. The guitar was played by the musician during the function. the audience laughed at the clown. The clown was laughed at by the audience. Here all the subject you can see they are in singular form. Right, the passive subject is in singular form. So in this way you will complete the exercise. So I repeat, in a sentence, when the subject is the doer of the action, the sentence is said to be in the active voice. That means the active voice describes the sentence where the subject performs the action stated by the verb. It follows a clear subject plus verb plus object. Like Ram eats an apple. Ram is the subject, eats is the verb, and apple is the object. An apple is eaten by Ram. An apple is the what? An apple is the passive subject, is eaten by Ram. So here the apple is the subject, passive subject, but the apple cannot perform the act of eating since it is an inanimate object. It is actually the receiver of the action eat. Therefore, it is in the passive subject of the sentence. The doer of the action of this sentence is Ram. Now in this exercise you can see a poem is written by him, a book is being read by me, her work has been completed by her. So usually the preposition by is added before the doer of an action in a passive construction. So hope it is clear to you all. If you have any confusion, do ask me in the live class. Thank you children.